Hi all, welcome to Competition Exam Cracker. In this video, we'll be covering the 11th part of Barron's 800 words with easy to remember images. And we are covering 20 words in each video. So a whole series is completed in 40 videos. So kindly visit to the channel to cover all 800 words of Barron. And covering these 800 words will make sure कि आपको एग्जाम टाइम पे काफी सारे vocab is clear because इनकी frequency in exam is very high. So if you are covering these words, so आप 70 to 80% of your vocabulary cover कर पाओगे in examination. So with that note, we are beginning this session. And 201st word that we have is desuetude, which means a state of disuse. And if you observe this word very carefully, so D SUE. So आप SUE को बहुत rarely ही find करोगे in any other word. So you can just jumble it up USE. So ये D use हो जाएगा, which means disuse. So अगर आप थोड़ा सा word play करोगे, so this word is very easy to remember. So आपको खाली ये D and SUE को USE करना है because SUE is very rare in any word. तो अगर आप इसको USE करोगे, so it become very easy. So moving to the next word. Next is desultory, which means random, disconnected, rambling or confused. So आप इसको ऐसे imagine करो कि 10 as 10, which means 10, and उल्टा. So 10 लोग अगर उल्टे हैं, so it is pretty confusing statement कि 10 लोग उल्टे हैं, how that can happen. So थोड़ा सा इसमें confusion है, and through that confusion you can connect it with the confusion or randomness कि ये तो कोई भी random thought है, this is not a correct thought. So with that you can connect. So moving to the next word. Next is deterrent, which means something that discourages or hinders. So आप इसको deteriorate से याद रख सकते हो, which is a negative word, which means किसी भी चीज को negatively affect करना. And अगर आप deterrent को deteriorate से connect कर पा रहे हो, so that means कि आप उसको courage को discourage कर रहे हो. So आप उसके courage को खराब कर रहे हो. So through that you can remember this word. Moving to the next word. Next is detraction, which means the act of taking away. So यहाँ पे एक child है. So if you want to take away his toy, so आपको उसको distract करना पड़ेगा to detract. So उसको distract करोगे, उसका ध्यान भटकाओगे, then only you can detract. So अगर आप उसको distract करोगे, उसका ध्यान भटकाओगे, then only you can detract. You can take away his toy. So distraction, detraction से आप इसको याद रख सकते हो very easily. Moving to the next word. Next is diaphanous, which means transparent, vague, or insubstantial. So you can remember this word with the help of this image. And if any one of you have come up with any easier way to remember this word, so kindly write that down in the comment section below so that other will get benefited. Moving to the next word. Next is diatribe, which means a bitter verbal attack. And you can connect it with the word tribe. So आज भी काफी सारे ऐसे लोकेशंस हैं जहाँ पे ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन को वर्बली डिसरेस्पेक्ट करके बुलाते हैं. So you can connect it with that emotion कि tribe है and people are calling them with dishonored and abusing words. So through that you can remember. Moving to the next word. So the next word that we have is dichotomy, which means division into two usually contradictory part. And if you want to remember it, so di means separating into two and tomy means cutting. So ये दोनों root word है and through that you can remember कि dichotomy means cutting into two parts. So with that you can remember it really easily. Moving to the next word. Next is diffidence, which means shyness or lack of confidence. So अगर आप इसको ध्यान से देखो तो ये confidence का opposite लग रहा है. Con and diff, बाकी fidence is same. So you can remember diffidence as antonym of confidence. So it become very easy to remember. Moving to the next word. Next is diffuse, which means to spread out. So एक word होता है diffuse, which is DEFUSE, जो bulb के साथ होता है. So you can connect it with that. So अगर bulb diffuse हो जाएगा, so it won't be able to diffuse light. So with that statement, you can remember it really well. Moving to the next word. Next is digression, which means act of straying away from the main point. And you can remember it easily from the image. But आप इसको word से भी याद रख सकते हो because it is very similar to the word aggression. if someone is very aggressive towards something, so that something is very important for him. And if someone is not that aggressive for something, so it is not very important. So if it is not very important, so he may visit to another point as well. So वो main point पे ज़्यादा नहीं रह रहा है. So with that story, you can try to connect it. And if you're able to connect it, then remembering this word becomes very easy. So moving to the next word. Next is dirge, which means a funeral hymn. And you can remember it with the help of this image. When Nairobi in Money Heist died, so the whole scene was a kind of a funeral hymn. So with that you can remember. Otherwise, if you want to connect it with the word itself, so आप इसको दुर्ग से याद रख सकते हो. सो दुर्ग किला मतलब वो ओल्ड टाइम की बात अगर हम करें तो उस टाइम पे पीपल यूज टू फाइट अ लॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ देयर किंगडम एंड ऑल. सो वहां पे काफी लोगों की डेथ वेरी फ्रिक्वेंटली होती थी. सो जब डेथ होगी तो फ्यूनरल हाइम होगा. सो थ्रू दैट यू कैन रिमेम्बर. सो अगर आप इसको दुर्ग से कनेक्ट करोगे तब. सो मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट वर्ड. Next is disabuse, which means free from misconception, and you can connect it with the race franchise, which generally have a misconception throughout the movie, and in the climax scene they settle everything up. So also you can remember it by breaking this word. So disabuse. So use is a positive use. Abuse means making the use negative. So using something in a negative manner. And again, putting this in front of abuse. So making abuse as negative. So अगर use conception है तो वो ab के साथ misconception हुआ और वो disabuse के साथ free from misconception हुआ. So अगर mathematically बात करें, so this is negative, which makes the whole statement positive. So you are freeing up the word use. So with that you can remember it. So it is little complicated to understand, but आप अगर इसको एक दो बार देखोगे, so you can easily understand it. Moving to the next word. Next is discerning, which means a perspective or exhibiting keen insight and a good judgment. So you can remember it with the help of this image. Otherwise, आप cern word से इसको याद रख सकते हो. एक word होता है concern, which means चिंता, and discern मतलब चिंता मुक्त. So if you are free from chinta, so you are able to make a good judgment because your mind is now able to cover all the insight, and as a result of which you can make a good judgment. So with that you can remember this word. Moving to the next word. Next is discomfit, which means to make uneasy or disconcert. So you can remember it really easily because यहाँ पे comfort है, which means comfortable. So अगर आप उसके आगे dis लगा रहे हो, so आप comfortable को negate कर रहे हो. So that is uneasy कर रहे हो. So with that you can remember. Moving to the next word. Next is discordant, which means not in tune. So you can remember it with the help of image. Otherwise I will recommend कि so आप इसको circle के chord के साथ connect कर सकते हो. Wherein in a circle diameter को छोड़ के आप जो भी line बनाओगे, that is known as a chord, CHORD. So अगर वो dis है, so the chords are not in alignment, so not in tune. So आप इसको इस तरीके से याद रख सकते हो कि chord are not aligned because of the word dis, and as a result of it they are not in tune. Moving ahead, the next word that we have is discredit, which means to dishonor. So you can again remember it with the help of this word credit. So credit allow कब किया जाता है? When you are having a value, आपके मार्केट में वैल्यू है, आपके बातों की वैल्यू है. So आपको क्रेडिट कब नहीं अलाउ किया जाएगा? जब आपकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. So people will dishonor you. So with that story you can remember कि discredit means to dishonor. Moving to the next word. So the next word that we have is discrepancy, which means difference between. So this is a highly used word. So I don't think you will need any extra assistance to remember this word. Moving ahead. Next is discrete, which means constituting a separate thing or distinct. So every box in the image is orange apart from the one that is blue. So you can remember it with the help of the image. So if you have any logic to break this word and make it little more easier to remember, so kindly write those down in comment section so that other get benefited out of it. So moving to the next word. Next is discretion, which means a quality of showing self-restraint in speech or action. So आप इस image के साथ बहुत अच्छे से इसको याद रख सकते हो, wherein everything is very much complex and this person is making everything sorted and he keeps going. Moving to the next word. Next is disingenuous, which means not candid or crafty. So you can remember it with the help of this image. Otherwise, आप इसको break करके याद रख लो. So there is a word called genius. So आप इस word को genius के साथ connect कर सकते हो. So this is genius, and this in making this genius negative. So this is ingenious means this is not a genius person, and then this is making ingenious negative. So again it is making the whole statement as genius. So अगर कोई genius है नहीं है, so that person is not genius at all. So he is trying to make it up. So वो थोड़ा crafty है. It is not candid. So through that you can remember. So moving ahead. So with that, we have completed 11th part of Barron's 800 words with easy to remember images series. So if you're enjoying the video, so kindly like, share and subscribe. And to complete all the videos, kindly visit to the channel. वहाँ पे आपको एक playlist में सारे videos दिख जाएंगे of Barron's 800 words. Believe me, these are high frequency word, and इनके exam में आने के chances is really very high. So if you are doing it really well, so आपका 70-80% of your vocab is getting completed. So with that note, we are ending this session. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, keep learning.